I don't remember exactly when it started. Maybe it was gradual, like a fog slowly creeping in until you can't see clearly anymore. But at some point I realized I wasn't living my life anymore. I was just reacting to other people's lives. And the scariest part? I didn't even realize it was happening. Every day without fail, I'd wake up and immediately check my phone. Before I even brushed my teeth, I already knew who had gone out to dinner, who was traveling, who just landed a new job, who posted a perfectly lit selfie with a quote about success and gratitude. And all of that, this endless stream of wins and curated smiles, started to consume me from the inside. Because while I watched other people's lives unfold, mine felt smaller, duller, like it was missing something important, and I tried to pretend it didn't bother me. I'd tell myself I was fine, that it was just a phase, that one day I'd be there too, posting victories, living the dream. But deep down, I was drowning in silent comparison, the kind that no one sees but eats away at your soul. I'd see someone working out every day with the perfect body and feel weak. I'd hear about someone starting their own business and think I was a coward. And the worst part? I even compared how I felt. When I was sad or tired, I'd think, but look at them, they're always fine. What's wrong with me? But there was nothing wrong with me. The problem was that I was measuring my life with someone else's ruler, judging my worth based on standards that weren't mine, beating myself up for not being where I should be, without realizing that this should came from outside, not from within. And it started to affect everything. My self-esteem, my motivation, my relationship with myself. Even when good things happened, I couldn't fully enjoy them. There was always a part of me thinking, it's not enough, you're still behind. Like a voice in my head whispering, look how they're living, and look at you, just existing. Then came the turning point. There was no breakdown, no drama, no visible crisis, just silence, emptiness. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through yet another series of perfect Instagram stories from someone I barely knew, and suddenly I felt exhausted, but not in my body, in my soul. Tired of pretending, tired of feeling small, tired of not being me. And in that moment, a single question hit me. How long are you going to keep comparing yourself to something that's not even real? That question planted the first seed. Slowly, I started noticing my own thoughts, noticing how often I belittled myself, how often I let comparison turn into self-sabotage, and then I made a decision. I had to stop comparing myself to everyone else. It was harder than I expected, because comparison had become automatic. I did it everywhere. I'd walk down the street and compare, hear someone talk about their life, and feel like a failure. But the more I paid attention to it, the more I realized comparison didn't make me grow. It made me shrink. So I started a detox. Not from food or social media alone, but a mental and emotional detox. I stepped back from the profiles that triggered me, not out of envy, but out of care. Care for my own peace. I started writing down at least one thing I appreciated about myself every day. One thing I did well, felt deeply, overcame. I started to honor my own wins, even the small ones, because for so long, I only saw what I lacked. I never saw what I already had, and that's when everything began to shift. Over time, I realized that everyone has their own story, their own timing, their own invisible battles behind each smile. And so do I, and that's okay. Because we're not here to compete, we're here to live, and living isn't a performance, it's a process. It's waking up a little stronger than yesterday, making choices that respect who you are, not who others say you should be. Comparison made me feel like I was never enough, but self-awareness showed me that I was just disconnected from what was truly mine. My ideas, my dreams, my values. Because when you start to know yourself for real, the noise outside loses power, and your own voice, the one buried under expectation, starts to come back. Today, I no longer live in that invisible race. Of course, comparison still tries to creep in. Through a post, a conversation, a sudden wave of insecurity. But now I recognize, I know it's not my ally, it doesn't lift me up, it holds me back. So when it appears, I pause, I reconnect, I come back to my path, and let me tell you something. My path may look simple, but it's mine, and that's enough. Because when I stopped comparing, I started seeing beauty in the smallest things. The smell of coffee, the silence of the early morning, the satisfaction of finishing something I used to avoid, the peace of not needing to prove anything to anyone. And with that peace came a kind of strength I didn't know I had. The strength to do things for me, to move at my pace, to admire others without shrinking, to celebrate someone else's win without feeling like I lost, to live with more lightness, more presence, and above all, more truth. If you're feeling tired of trying to be someone you're not, maybe it's time to stop. Stop comparing. Stop measuring your life by what others are doing. Start looking inward. Ask yourself, what do I want? What feels right for me? What brings me peace, even if no one claps for it? And follow that. Slowly, quietly, honestly. Your life doesn't have to look amazing. It just has to feel real. And when you truly understand that, everything changes. Because the freedom to be yourself is the greatest gift you'll ever give yourself. And it's only when you finally accept who you are that you begin to truly live. If this message spoke to you, if you felt seen in any part of this story, then subscribe to the Lives in Secret channel. This is a space where we talk about the things we all feel but rarely say out loud. Leave a like, share it with someone who might need this, and come be part of this journey with us. Because sometimes all we need is a reminder you are already enough. You just forgot.